Hi, hello everybody. Welcome back. Today I am doing another book haul. It's ridiculous, I know. I went a little crazy. I went to some used bookstores, went to some book sales. I have 20 books to show you here today. I don't know why I keep doing this. Let's just get into it. So yes, I have 20 books to show you guys today. Let me start with the graphic novels because I have a good number of those. The first two graphic novels I want to show you are Paper Girls Volume 1 and Volume 2. Both of these are by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang, and they follow 4 paper girls that deliver papers in the 80s in the early mornings, and they accidentally stumble upon this time machine, I guess is the best way to describe it, and things are happening. They're going back and forth in time. Things are coming back from the future, like there's weird devices, and then we end up meeting an older version of one of our main characters in the future, and that's how it kicks off. So much fun. I flew through this first one and immediately had to pick up the second one. I'm about halfway through it right now, but this series is seriously gonna be one of my favorites. Then the last 5 graphic novels that I picked up are Saga Volumes 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Saga is a space opera fantasy graphic novel series that follows 2 characters that are from warring worlds that have been at war for like centuries, and they fall in love and have like a hybrid baby, and it's that their adventures running from the planets, trying to keep this baby safe. It's kind of told from the baby's perspective from the future, so it's really, really good. It's really weird and really fun, but I am completely invested, so I picked up a Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, and Volume 9. This is the most recently released volume of graphic novels, of which I have read Volume 5, but I just recently got these, so hopefully we'll just fly through them. So next I'm going to move into some of the books that I got that I already have owned and since gotten rid of. I'm trying to create some space on my shelves, so there are certain series that I love that are just taking up way too much space that I would love to have in paperback instead of hardback. So I've got a couple of those I'm going to share with you guys today. So the first one is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. I have decided, since this is the style cover that the series is going to go with for the last book, that I decided I wanted to pick these up in paperback to save space, because the hardbacks are freaking chunkers. They're so big and they don't match. I have kept the original Diviners cover, which is like right there on my shelf, but I haven't decided if I'm going to get rid of that or not. That one's super pretty, but I have gotten rid of the second and third book in hardback, and I found this one at the used bookstore pretty cheap, so I will be collecting these covers from now on for the Diviner series. Lair of Dreams is the second book in the Diviner series by Libba Bray. The Diviners is a YA paranormal occult novel that takes place in the 20s, and it follows a host of characters that have powers, and it kind of kicks off with our main character who can see how people died by touching their objects, or she can see things about people by touching certain objects. So like if someone died and she picked up their handkerchief, she could potentially see how they died. So that all comes into, like, there's a series of murders happening in New York City, and she is trying to help solve them while keeping her powers a secret. She's coming across other people that have powers. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Along that same vein, I picked up The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is going to be a 7-book series, and they're already chunky as is, so I think I'm definitely going to collect these in paperback instead of in hardback, and I found this one again for super cheap. I'll probably collect them as they come up from my used bookstore, local bookstores, for pretty cheap. So the Bone Season is hard to put a genre to, but our main character is a dream walker. So in this world there are humans that have powers and humans that don't have powers, and the humans that have powers are punished, so they're like underground, and they formed underground syndicates of crime, and our main character is the only known dream walker that we know of, and she works for a crime overlord when one day she gets taken away to this other land where there's like ghosts and beasts, and it's very confusing and hard to describe, but it's really good. And the last two that I have along those same veins is The Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir in these new lovely floppy paperbacks. This is another cover change where I prefer the paperbacks and I want to save space on the shelf, so I picked these ones up and they're beautiful. In case you didn't know, is a YA fantasy that follows two different perspectives. One is of a slave girl and the other is of a soldier in a very militant empire, and our main character Lair is trying to rescue her brother from prison, so she ends up going to serve where the other main character is, and there's a lot of conflict, there's adventure, there's romance. It's so much fun. I have not picked up the third book. We will get there. These books are near and dear to my heart. I love them quite a lot. Now we're getting into new books that I bought that I have not read yet. Oh wait, we've got one more that I have read that I'll share with you that I've just never owned. I found this Tales of Beetle the Bard pretty Hogwarts Library edition at my used bookstore. Figured I would pick it up. I don't own I have never owned the Tales of Beetle the Bard, I don't think. So, alright. So, now we are jumping into the completely new books that I've never read before. The first is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. TJR, because I keep stumbling on her name, is the author of two of my favorite adult novels, Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I figured I would pick this one up when I saw it. This follows our main character who has kind of been stumbling through life. She's moved around a lot, changed jobs a lot, doesn't really know what she wants. So she ends up moving back to her hometown. To celebrate moving back, she goes out with her best friend Gabby, where they stumble upon her high school sweetheart Ethan. So there's two people from her past, and Ethan asks her to go home with him, and Gabby asks if she's ready to go, and Hannah is contemplating her life of which should she choose. So from there, I think it divulges into two alternate storylines, and it just seems angsty and exactly what I want from Taylor Jenkins Reid, so I definitely want to pick this one up. The next guy that I picked up from my used bookstore is Dustlands Blood Red Road by Maura Yong. This is a YA dystopian post-apocalyptic that follows our main character whose twin is like taken by these four mysterious horsemen. She decides to go after him in this wasteland of Earth, and she meets a sassy 2011 YA male protagonist. Just seems kind of like fun. Something is drawing me to this book, and I don't know why. I know that it's a polarizing read. It's been a long time since I've read anything that's like apocalyptic. I think I kind of burnt myself out a little bit on that, but I'm kind of ready to dive back in, and I hope this satiates my need. It could be rough. It's some people love this book, some people hate it, so we're just gonna give it a try. It was only $2 at the bookstore, so we're gonna give it a try and see how it goes. Then I picked up The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is an adult high fantasy that follows our main character who is orphaned at a young age and joins an assassin school. There's just a bunch of conflict. I think this is pretty gruesome, brutal fantasy, and I am very excited to pick it up. I ended up finding a copy of The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a YA sci-fi that follows like a group on a spaceship, and everyone tells me it gives them Mass Effect vibes, which I am totally here for. I love that video game, and I can't find this book anywhere, like not even on Amazon, so I don't know if it's out of print or not. So when I saw a copy of it, I just figured I would grab it, scoop it up, and read it. Oh, I'm embarrassed about this next one. I picked up Blood Witch by Susan Dennard, the third book in the Witchlands series, of which I have read 0% of. It was really cheap, guys. I don't want to talk about it. I have it now. I finally picked up a copy of Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is a much hyped YA fantasy that follows our main character who is half fae that gets trapped in the Fae world and is kind of like treated horribly because she's half Fae. Oh no, she's human. I don't know. I've heard there's like a tragic hate to love, hate romance-y type of things, and that this is just, people just devour it, so I'm happy to give it a try. I finally picked up Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, the third and final book in the Dark Artifices series, but the like 15th or 16th book in the Shadowhunters world. This baby, like, I'm extremely proud of myself. First of all, I have avoided all spoilers for this book. It's been over a year, I think, since it's been out. No, it's been only like 6 months since it's been out. Finally picked it up. I will give this one a read very soon. I think I'm gonna actually wait for the audiobook to come in so I can read as well as listen to it, because baby, this bitch is huge. Another huge book that I have to end out this book haul is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is an adult high fantasy standalone that is a thick babe. I think this follows a bunch of different characters, but I believe the main premise is there's this event that happens that sparks a like threads of religion, and because of that, even within one kingdom there's so much dividing the people, and I think there's a war on the rise. I love this. I love the aesthetic of this. I can't wait to read another book with dragons in it. Dragons are a buzzword for me, so I definitely want to pick this up. Samantha Shannon is also one of my favorite authors because she wrote the Bone Season series, which I hauled earlier, and this babe she talks about with such like joy and pride that I really do want to get to it soon. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.